What's going on, guys? I am back with another video. So I thought I'd go ahead and show you guys my perfect deck for Arena 5, 6, and 7. This deck has been working very well on both of the accounts that I've been using. I've gone on a 15 win streak, actually 16, and it has been going very well for me. And I thought I'd go ahead and show you guys because I think that a lot of you can benefit from this. So let's go ahead and look at my log here, and then let's switch over to Jess's account, which I have been helping her a little bit to push. So if you count all the win streaks, like if you count the win streak without a loss, it all added up to 17, actually 16. So it's been very crazy, and let's go ahead and check out the deck here. So moving over to the deck, we have over here the minion, hoard, the Hog Rider, the freeze, giant skeleton, barbs, goblins, musketeer, and the arrows. And if you don't have one of these troops like the giant skeleton, you can replace the giant skeleton with the giant, and that should work as well. But you know, if you do have the giant skeleton, then it is recommended, highly recommended for that. So if you don't have the Hog Rider, go ahead and replace that with the prince, because that also works very well, even though the prince is one more elixir. But you know, it definitely is worth a shot if you don't have the Hog Rider. By the way, I just thought I'd go ahead and mention that this also is the deck that got me from Arena 5 to Arena 7. I've been stuck in Arena 5 for the longest, and I felt like the biggest noob out there. But with this deck, I went ahead and managed to go ahead and surpass 2,000 cups, which has been, you know, working very well. So looking at the first replay here, although this guy is level 7, you will see a ton of level 7s in Arena 5, 6, and 7, because that's just the natural thing. You'll see a lot of level 7s, so there's probably a level 8 like every 5 matches for me, so there's nothing I can do. And let's go ahead and check it out. I deployed some minions, barbs, and the musketeer, and that manages to get a big chunk of health on his tower there. I'm also not sure why he deployed that giant rocket, because that did not give him a chance to go ahead and defend against my troops, which usually happens all the time in the beginning of the match. So right here, I'm going to drop my giant skeleton right in the corner of the king tower. You want to do that because you want to go ahead and make your main troop walk as far as possible to go ahead and build up elixir after he walks. Pretty much what you're doing is trying to build up elixir as the troop walks all the way in the other side of the base. So you want to go ahead and try and do that with like a slow troop, the giant skeleton, the Pekka, something that goes slow, not the Hog Rider. Do not deploy the Hog Rider all the way in the back, because I mean, you can, but if you plan on using the Hog Rider as a tank troop, then do not do that, because the Hog Rider is just, it dies pretty quickly with like minions or barbs or something like that. So that's not a tank troop. And yeah, so looking over at the right tower, he did have 78 hit points, which, I mean, obviously you can go ahead and just deploy a fireball or some arrows. In this case, our deck has arrows. So if you don't have any arrows, you can go ahead and wait till you have the Hog Rider, because the Hog Rider most likely will go ahead and make it to the other side and get at least one hit on that tower. 60 seconds left into the match. I need to place a rocket for some reason, so that does take a huge chunk of my tower, but that does not take it down. So I deploy my main giant skeleton along with some barbs and my musketeer. So this is usually what I do to go ahead and push to the other towers. So here we go. He deploys a bunch of just small troops, but obviously the arrows can take that down really quickly. So the only problem here is that he deploys a rocket again. So now my giant skeleton is stuck with some troops and a cannon there, which does not take out his tower. But can the minions do it? No, he zaps them for some reason. And can the minions? No. Okay, no. Okay, so we have a musketeer there going in with some goblins, and now I think that can take it out. And no, it does not take it out as well. So I deploy some arrows now, and I horribly missed for just a little bit left. So here we go. He deploys some Hog Riders and a bunch of troops, and he takes down my tower. So just because I missed that tower up there, I couldn't get the win before the overtime. So here we go. I'm going to try and get his tower now. It does look like I have a few troops going in against his towers. So here we go. I have a musketeer along with some barbarians, and they take down that cannon, and boom, there we go. The tower is mine. He was almost close to getting mine, but I deployed that free spell before his Hog Rider and goblins managed to get there. So moving over to the next match, I wait till I have 10 elixir. Obviously, you want to go ahead, always do that. Do not go in like I used to do. I used to just go in with like giant, a skeleton, and like not a Zuka, a musketeer. I used to go in from the side, like the corner of the little river thing, and I used to think that, oh, he might not have any defense to go ahead and counter that, so I might get lucky and take his tower down. That did work, but not as often as I wanted it to, so try and not do that. I did explain in some video that you should do that, but actually do not do that. Giant skeleton down, going in for another big push against this tower here. So one of my main enemies against this deck is having the opponent have like his little defense units, like a mortar, a cannon, an expo, like all those defense, it just annoys me so much, and I think it annoys every deck pretty much, because you can't just defend against a mortar like just like that, like, oh, just drop some minions and boom, he's gone. No, but just remember, when you do see some defense, go in with your regular push, giant skeleton, musketeer in the back, goblins. Do not change it at all, just go in like that and pray that the tower goes down, and then you have a chance at the actual tower. Alright, so he's going in with a prince and a dragon here, but I deploy a giant skeleton because I knew that just dropping like barbarians or something, it would not defend against that huge push that he had right there. So I deploy my giant skeleton, I have my musketeer in back of him, and I have a Hog Rider in it. So obviously I think that will take out his cannon immediately. But do I have a chance at the tower? No, because the Hog Rider dies. So now I have to go ahead and deploy a arrow on his little mini troops there. Hog Rider going in, but I deploy some goblins and a musketeer. So now it's becoming like a repetitive thing. He's deploying cannon as a defense unit. Like, he's just deploying cannon. It's getting repetitive, but now I take down his towers, so you know, that's a luck for me. And another Hog Rider down, so I deploy my minion horde because that obviously takes it down pretty quickly. And can I defend against those goblins? Yes, I can. And there we go. I taunt him like a bunch of times, I think. But I usually do that in all battles there. So moving on to the next one against Garth. Barb's going in as my main push unit, and then he has a Tesla, which will mess me up as well, because defense usually just drags your troops to the left side or the right side, depending on which side you're going in. And then he has a wizard. I'm not too sure why that gameplay just skipped there. I'm like watching it live right now. But anyways, that's besides the point. I have my musketeer going in at that tower, and I take down a huge chunk of it as well. I guess also the main thing that scares me with this deck is trying to defend against a giant skeleton. Now, what you want to do is try and deploy the minions, the barbarians, or another giant skeleton. Never deploy a Hog Rider, because obviously that won't do anything, and the musketeer won't get a lot of damage on him as well. That'll just like, it's just like deploying a goblin against a golem. Like, that won't really do anything. So, you know, yeah, skip it over to 1 minute left, because we were basically just defending back and forth. I deploy my giant skeleton and my musketeer as my main push again, and he deploys a giant skeleton now, which kind of messed me up because I wasn't really expecting that, and I wasn't expecting that prince as well to be deployed after my Hog Rider in the left side there. So pretty difficult situation here. But anyways, I have my barbarians just walking at it, and I deploy a musketeer in back of them. The Tesla is down, which should give me a shot at the tower in the left side, but no, he deploys a wizard, which does a bunch of damage against barbarians as well, and then he deploys some archers to take down my musketeer. Hog Rider down in the right side, and then the prince chases him, so now I have to go ahead and freeze him in the tower to go ahead and get it. And there we go, the tower is ours. Just go ahead and drop some arrows on those skeletons and some barbarians to defend against that prince. So pretty much we can safely say that now this match is over here. 4 seconds left, there's nothing you can do, and there's just too many hit points on those towers, so there's pretty much nothing you can do, obviously. So now let's go ahead and move on to another replay. I'm gonna go ahead and hop on Jess's account and check out some replays from that account, so I can show you guys that it also works with lower level troops. So looking at the first replay, giant skeleton down, and I'm gonna go ahead and deploy a musketeer in back of him. Now you always want to do the same thing in every single arena as you use this deck. Giant skeleton or barbarians is your main defense, not defense, your main push unit. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you do not deploy goblins or Hog Rider as your main push unit. And by push unit, I just mean like a Michio, like something that goes in front of the smaller. I'm pretty sure you all know that by now, so yeah. So Pekka and Wizard going in from the left side, and do not be afraid against Pekka's guys, because the barbarians or the goblins, not the goblins, the barbarians and the minions do a very nice job against Pekka's, and it makes them just look weak pretty much. So here we go. I'm gonna drop my musketeer, some barbarians. Hopefully we can take down some HP from that tower, and let's go and see what happens here. Skipping over to 50 seconds, I deploy my main troops, my barbarians, my giant skeleton. Here I'm gonna deploy a musketeer. After that, rocket goes down. So again, a rocket user, you do not want to do that. I mean, the rocket is good and all, but you know, after you deploy a rocket, what other troops can you defend against a big horde of troops coming against your tower? None, pretty much. So now my giant skeleton is alone with some minions there, so I'm gonna go ahead and just leave him over there and deploy another giant skeleton on the right side, and I'm gonna go ahead and try and get my musketeer in there. So hopefully if we can get that giant skeleton to at least get that tower down to 500 we can get it, but that does not happen, so we have to go ahead and go with plan B, which I never really have a plan B, but I'm just saying that. So Barbarians and a musketeer down on the left side, so that should be my shot against that tower, because now I have a giant skeleton with that troop horde as well. So I freeze his tower and his wizard to go ahead and try and get that giant skeleton to at least hit it 2 times, because if we get the tower down to 500 and the giant skeleton explodes, that's our tower. So pretty much that's what happened. Well, actually no, I think the musketeer got it before the giant skeleton exploded, but same thing. So let's go ahead and move on to the last replay for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and go against someone from Royale. Skipping over a huge chunk of the replay, I deploy my giant skeleton and my barbarians on the right side, but instead of deploying some troops with those troops there, I deployed my Hog Rider on the left side, because I noticed that he had a bunch of troops that he deployed on the right side. So now I can freely deploy my Hog Rider and get a bunch of HP on that tower there. So let's try and go at it again. Giant skeleton and musketeer on the left side. I'm going to try and get the giant skeleton to at least explode next to the tower, because that will do me a big advantage. So here we go. Giants on the right side. I managed to go ahead and take it down with some minions, so that's pretty good now. And now I only have a little bit of HP on that left tower. Now I have 2 options. Just go ahead and push towards it, or just drop some arrows if it does have enough damage to go ahead and take it down. So I'm going to go ahead and just try and push towards it. I deploy my Hog Rider to go ahead and take it down. And can I get 1 hit? And boom, there we go. 1 hit on the tower. So 60 seconds left. I have to go ahead and just defend now, because, you know, when you have 60 seconds left, 30 seconds left, just try and defend the heck out of yourself. So here we go. Barbarians, goblins, musketeer, everything I have, I just deployed in front of him to go ahead and defend. So, you know, just pretty much do that for the rest of the match. 18 seconds left, and he stops deploying troops on the left side for some reason. I guess he quit or something. So I deploy some troops on the right side just for fun. So just to see if I can get it down. But obviously I'm not going to go ahead and take it down, because I only have a giant skeleton there. So that's pretty much it, guys, for today's video. That's the last replay I had for you guys. I really recommend this deck, and it works like really awesome. It just works very, very well, and I do highly recommend you to use this deck and try and get the tips that I did recommend to you guys as well. Like, try and just write down those tips or something if you did not know them. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please rate, comment, subscribe for more videos. Tell me what you guys think below in the comment section if you saw YouTube. See you all in the next one. Peace.